So today, we're jumping into a really fascinating one, the third law from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. And it's all built around a simple but kind of sneaky idea. What you don't show is often way more powerful than what you do. Just let that sink in for a second. Real, lasting power. It isn't about grandstanding or making big announcements. Nope. It's usually built in the quiet moments, in the moves that absolutely nobody sees coming. All right. Let's get into the mechanics of this. The law works on a principle that is both simple and honestly a little profound. It's this. What people don't know, they can't fight. It's all about moving like a shadow, keeping what you're really after under wraps until it's just too late for anyone to get in your way.
So that's the law right out of the book. And you got to pay attention to those key phrases, off balance and in the dark. The whole idea is to create this fog, an environment where you can move freely because no one else can even see the board clearly enough to make a countermove.
So why is being an open book so dangerous in the world of power? Well, it comes down to human nature. We're just wired to react, to judge, and, let's be honest, pretty often, to get in the way. When you tell everyone your plans, you're not just sharing info. You're basically handing them the keys. You're giving away control.
Let's face it, most of us are open books. We can't help but talk about our goals, our big plans, our next moves. And in doing that, we become super predictable. But the masked face, that's a total mystery. It makes people guess. It makes them uneasy. And right there, in that confusion, that's where you find your edge.
You know, what's really interesting here is just how blunt that is. The delusion is this belief that if you're just honest and totally transparent, people will get on board. But from a strategic point of view, it often does the exact opposite. It gives them all the ammunition they need to use against you.
Okay, let's look at a true master of this law in action, Otto von Bismarck. This is the guy who would eventually unite Germany, and he didn't do it by announcing his grand vision to the world. Oh no, he did it through some seriously calculated misdirection.
So back in 1850, Bismarck gives this speech that just completely baffled everyone. He's talking about peace, but at the same time, he's praising the Prussian army. He left everyone, the warmongers and the pacifists, totally confused. They couldn't figure him out. And while they were all busy debating what he meant, he was quietly moving his pieces on the board, positioning himself for the ultimate power grab.
And this just nails the heart of his strategy, doesn't it? He wasn't exactly lying. He was creating a fog, a thick, impenetrable fog. And that fog gave him all the room he needed to achieve something huge that nobody even realized he was going for.
Now, let's switch gears and see how this very same law works in a totally different world. The world of social strategy and seduction. The 17th century courtesan Ninon de l'Enclos was an absolute master of using mystery to create desire.
So Ninon's advice to this young marquis wasn't, go declare your undying love. No, it was the opposite, hide it. She told him to act indifferent, and then, brilliantly, she had him use a red herring, another beautiful woman, to stir up jealousy and confusion. The target of his affection became so obsessed with figuring out his true feelings that she found him completely irresistible.
And here's the genius of it all. By turning himself into a puzzle, the Marquis forced the Countess to make the first move. She had to reveal her own feelings just to try and solve the mystery of his. And in that one moment, boom, all the power shifted to him.
I mean, this image is the perfect metaphor for everything we're talking about. In any kind of strategic game, whether it's politics, business, even romance, you're playing chess. If your opponent can see your whole setup, they can counter you easily. But if your pieces are hidden in the shadows, well, now they're forced to guess, to react, and eventually to make mistakes.
So, what does this all mean for us? This isn't just about cool historical stories. This principle of concealing your intentions is an incredibly powerful tool in modern life, if you know how and, more importantly, when to use it. Just think about the workplace for a minute. If you go around announcing you're aiming for that big promotion, you've instantly created rivals and put a giant target on your back. Or, in your personal life, you share a new, exciting idea before it's ready, and you open the door for people to project all their own fears and doubts onto it. Silence. Silence gives your plans the room they need to breathe and get strong before you show them to the world. When you just operate out in the open, you're being guided by emotion and reaction, yours and everybody else's. And that gives you very, very little control. But when you conceal your intentions, you move into the realm of pure strategy. You control the story, you control the timing, and ultimately, you control the outcome.
Right. So this is the question that always comes up, isn't it? Is this law just a free pass to be dishonest and manipulative? It's a totally fair question, but I think it might be missing the real point.
And that right there is the final takeaway. This isn't about lying just for the sake of it. It's about strategic patience. It's about protecting your goals from being torn down before they even have a chance. It's about understanding that the most powerful moves, they're the ones that are only seen after they've already succeeded.